Welcome to Addicted to Real Estate TV. On today's episode, we're going to talk about how many ways can I buy your house? So stick around. I got some good information for you.
To say you gotta know somebody, oh know somebody to get somewhere these days. To say you know that's alright, yeah that's alright. Cause you know that's alright with me. Yeah, you know that's alright, yeah that's alright. Cause you know that's alright.
I'm your host of Addicted to Real Estate TV, Phil Falcone. Today's episode was sponsored by Executech Suites Answering Service. Do you have a voicemail system picking up your business calls during the day? I certainly hope not. For only $99 a month, Executech Suites answers your business phone calls in the name of your company and patch the calls to you no matter where you are. It's an excellent way to present a professional image for your business. Check them out at the phone number above or the website below. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how many ways can I buy your house? All right. You find out that somebody wants to sell their house. You set up a meeting with them. After you do a little pre-screening with them. And when you sit down with them, the first thing you want to ask them is, what do they think their house is worth? And what do they owe on the house? Now, many times today, you're going to find people that are upside down on their house, where they owe more than the house is worth. Or they owe almost as much as the house is worth, okay? The minute you hear that, you got to start thinking, ask them if they are in default on their mortgage. And if they are, you got to start thinking this is a short sale. And short sales are when you negotiate with the bank and you try to get them to sell the house to you at a much lower price. I personally hate short sales. I hate spending 6 months on the phone trying to work on a deal that I may or may not get at the end. However, there are a lot of professional people who will do this for you. For a cost of about $5,000, they'll do all the negotiating for you, and you can end up buying the house at the end. So it works out really nice for you if you're not the one doing the work. So short sales is just one way that I could buy your house. Okay, another way would be, let's just say that you have a big mortgage on the house, but you're not in default, and what you can do is, you're an investor, I assume, and it's difficult for you to get money from a bank to buy this house. So what you can do is take over the existing finance subject to. And the way that you do that is you basically buy the house with a dirty title. Usually when you buy a house, it's free and clear. You're going to buy this house free and clear with the exception of this one mortgage, which you're going to take over subject to. And you have to get a hold of some contracts for subject twos. And what you do is you agree to buy the house with this lien against it. The lien stays in the name of the seller, but you, the buyer, make payments on that lien. And you do that for a number of years until the banking industry loosens up the purse strings and you can then borrow money to refinance out of this house. It's a great way for you to buy a house with no money down. Because if the guy has a $100,000 house with $85,000 in mortgage amount, he'd be happy to get 85 for it. Well, then it's a perfect case for subject to take over his payments and you put no money into the deal. Whatever his interest rate is, whatever his terms are in his existing mortgage, you abide by them and you pay for it. And if the guy's struggling, you can explain to the guy that if I'm making payments on a note that's in your name, I will be improving your credit. And if the guy's not making the payments or he's really being late on them, like a lot of people are today, you can tell him, listen, if I don't make the payments on this thing, it's no worse than what you're doing. Just take the house back. So this is a great way to buy a house, subject to. Another way that I buy a lot of houses today is I buy them with cash. But if I'm buying a house with cash, cash is king. And I'm not about to let out the king out of my hands unless I'm getting a killer deal on the house. So usually the worst lowball offer that I'll make to anybody is that offer that I'm making with cash. Where in the other two examples, a subject to, I'm happy to take over the guy's note as long as it's reasonably close to the value of the house. And in a short sale, I'm going to be happy to take whatever the bank is willing to give me in most cases. So the short sales and the subject twos are no money down techniques, where the cash deal is really an all money down technique. But I'm going to make the cash offer into a no money down technique, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a private investor in to put up the money. I'm getting paid because I'm brilliant at putting together real estate deals. I'm like a deal engineer. And I'm going to bring in this private money guy to put up all of the money, and I'm going to make interest payments to him on his money, and that's the reason he's going to do it. Or if he wants an equity stake in the deal, I'd be willing to discuss that with him as well. So cash is a great way to buy a house. My favorite all-time way to buy a house is seller financing. Now, seller financing can be done when the person owns the house free and clear. If the house is free and clear, you want to immediately get involved in a conversation about seller financing. The minute you hear, I don't have a mortgage on this house, light bulbs should be popping off in your head. Pop, 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 pop. Okay, time to start talking about seller financing. Really, you want $200,000 for your house. Well, what if I give you $1,000 a month for 200 months? There you go. You got yourself a deal. No money down. The owner is going to finance the deal for you. And the last way to buy a house that I do today, and when I say last, I mean last, okay? It's put on the end of this list for a reason, is a conventional deal where I put down 20%, I get a loan from a bank. That's the way I used to buy a lot of properties, but it's pretty hard to do that these days. Not a lot of banks are supporting investors, and I'm getting much stronger, much better deals the other ways. So let's recap real quick. If the house has a mortgage that's in default, and the mortgage is close to the value of the house, it's by definition a perfect house to do a short sale, but it has to be in default. You just get the owner of that house to give you the authority to deal with the mortgage company on their behalf to short the note down to a number that you can live with, and then you buy the house. All right? The other way is subject to, where you take over the existing financing. And you generally do that when there's some equity in the house, but the amount of the mortgage is good enough for the owner to just get out of it if you would just take over that payment, or if they would just sell it for the price of the mortgage. The next way is cash. The cash deals, typically, they have to be houses usually owned by banks, is when I'm really doing cash deals. REOs or bank deals, or if they're people who own a house free and clear and they refuse to do seller financing, then I'm going to come in with a cash offer, all right? And then there's seller financing, where the people own it free and clear and I'm getting them to be the bank. And then there's the conventional deals. Now guess which way I do the most? None of these five. The way that I do the most is a combination of some of these. So you go out, you talk to owners, you figure out what it is that they need, and you give them what they need while at the same time structuring a beautiful deal for yourself. That's what I like to call deal engineering. That's how I view myself today. I'm out there scouring the earth looking for deals, and then I'm meeting with the sellers and I'm trying to structure an agreement where both parties are going to be thrilled with what I put together. A real win-win. That's what I'm looking for all the time. And if I can put that together, then everybody involved in this real estate deal, the seller who's selling the house to me wins. I win because I get a house. The private money guy's thrilled because he's getting paid 7% on his money or whatever I worked out with him. Everybody wins. That's the way you structure real estate deals in 2011 and 2012 and 2013. And I'm out there buying right now, folks. You got to get busy buying. The deals out there today are amazing. And if you're not using this kind of creative financing, then you're probably not buying a lot of houses. Me, I'm out there gobbling up as much as I can. I'm like Pac-Man, out there buying as much real estate as possible. I hope you enjoyed today's quick summary about the different ways that you can buy a house. My name is Phil Falcone from Addicted to Real Estate. If you like this TV show, make sure you go to the front page of my website and sign up for my free web TV show, where I can send you videos like this one for free with all great kinds of tips and tricks for real estate investors. And don't forget to pick up a copy of my book, Addicted to Real Estate, Why I Can't Stop and Why You Should Start. It's a book that gives you 20 years of real estate experience for $20. That's only $1 a year. But you better hurry up and buy it now, because next year it's going to be $21. Thanks for listening to today's episode. Don't forget to sign up for my web TV show. Don't forget to pick up a copy of my book, and let's get busy buying.